Ah, DSW, birthplace of the humble brag. Here, the shoes are so good, no one would ever know how little you paid. If you didn't go telling everyone, that is. And with never-ending options for every style, mood, and occasion, all at really great prices, we'll definitely give you something to brag about. So go ahead, stock up on fresh sneakers from your favorite brands. Or try those boots you always secretly knew you could pull off. Find the shoes that get you at prices that get your budget at DSW stores or DSW.com.
Ramley, what is going on? Welcome to a beautiful Monday here in the Southland. Trade news. We are 8 days away from the trade deadline, and the Rams have already struck. We last week did our, potential targets, heavily looking at the cornerback position. And my man here to my right, Skinny T, absolutely nailed it. One of his predictions not only came true, but McVay even said the reason why they went after him was exactly what Skinny T said. Roger McCreary is now a Los Angeles Ram, formerly of the Tennessee Titans. Skinny, first, take a bow. I mean, we like it when we actually do some of these lists and like predictions, and they do come true sometimes. So well done. Take a bow.
Yeah. I like to say a stopwatch is right twice a day. So I've been wrong about plenty, but I'm not going to clip any of those. But that's up on Twitter if you want to go check out what I said there, which we'll reiterate today and go and do a little bit more in depth. But yeah, I mean, I saw him on the list of potential trade candidates, and I thought that would be a good guy. So half the work was already done for me.
Well, good. Well, so yeah, just to reiterate, I guess I know you said it last week, but and then McVay, and you have 2 articles up on LAFBnetwork.com that people can check out. But why do you think he is a good fit? Obviously, the Rams need some depth at that position. That is certainly, while it's played okay, it is certainly the weakest spot, which is why we've really highlighted that being the position group they would seemingly go after. So why do you just think he is such a good fit?
It comes down to the versatility and what he offers to the rest of the defense, honestly, specifically Quentin Lake. And that was kind of, what I saw was, he would be able to play nickel or outside, which new news today, Darius Williams dealing with some sort of weird shoulder injury that they're not quite sure what it is. And they're not quite sure if he's going to play against the Saints. And he's primarily an outside guy. And so, yeah, McCreary started his career kind of splitting his time between inside and out. In the last couple of years, he's just been a nickel guy. And so that will allow Quentin Lake to move around a lot more freely in the defense, which is good. That's what he's the best at, is when he's moved around a lot. So not only does it upgrade the position just in general, but it offers the defense some fluidity, some chances to move around a bit more. So, I mean, that's kind of the long and short of it. So lots of other good things about this trade, though. I mean, let's talk about the compensation.
Yeah. Well, we can do that real quick, and then we'll just keep going on McCreary. But yeah, so the Rams, and correct me if I'm wrong, but Rams essentially trade a 5th round pick, which will probably be the Titans pick that they used to own, going back to them. And the Rams will get a 6th round pick back plus McCreary.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's the Rams' highest 5th round pick, basically.
Yeah.
So whatever that's going to be. So yeah, there's what do they call it? It's I'm forgetting the word. Not compensatory. No, it's something else. Anyway.
Okay. I don't know. Maybe I don't know what you're talking about, but anyway, yeah, it's I mean, the compensation is fantastic. What we've seen, for all the great moves Les Snead has made through his tenure with the Rams, like as of late, there's been a lot of like pretty porous compensation. Some of them have worked out still. But we've seen like high profile guys go for like very meaningless picks late on, which they've turned into good players still. So that's why it's been like, okay, but typically they don't get good compensation. So to get a starting quality corner, and basically give up a 5th and get a 6th back. So basically they got him for free, almost, Skinny, when you think about it. Like, yeah, it's probably going to be a 30 to 40 pick difference when you look at the high end 5th versus a 6th. I mean, that's still at that point in the draft, you're just throwing darts anyway. So absolutely fantastic work from Les Snead and his team. And when you look at McCreary, former 2nd round pick out of Auburn. So a high profile player, 25 years old. like we talked about on that show a couple days ago, we thought they would go after someone who was on an expiring contract. So then if things work out, they can renegotiate on their terms and not be locked in. He's a free agent in 26. So even if this turns out to be a rental, you didn't give up anything. You swapped a 5th and a 6th for a rental, or you have a future player at nickel, like you said, that now they can negotiate and get a deal on their terms. So, the thing I'll ask you now, Skinny, is in the interim, this is a great move for everything you said about Quentin Lake. Quentin Lake has so much versatility. They can now play him more at safety if need be, play him in the box. They can move him all over and use McCreary more as the true nickel. That being said, when negotiations come at the end of the year, both McCreary and Lake now are going to be on expiring contracts. Do you see a world where they can re-sign both, or is this now kind of a, hey, who plays the nickel better is who's going to get that second contract?
Yeah, that is something I didn't even think about, honestly. That he's joining the long list of cornerbacks that need contracts at the end of the year. Only 3 guys, as I mentioned before, under contract at the position heading into next season. So yeah, I mean, that adds an additional element of math that I did not consider. The word I was looking for was conditional.
Oh,
conditional pick. Yeah. Yeah. So I still have big questions about it. We've been on the record for a long time. We think Quentin Lake is a great addition to the defense and love having him on the team. A big question, are they going to resign him? And this doesn't make it any easier for them, I imagine, which direction they're going to go, because they're going to have some bodies in that positional room under contract. and it's getting skinned back there. And yeah, we were talking in that last show, like they are an injury away from catastrophe. So I wonder how much of this was even in response to what happened with Darius Williams. They needed a cornerback, and now they really need a cornerback. So
yeah, it's a great point. Like if his injury is more serious, which obviously just came up during the bye week in practice, we know updated today, McVay updated on Witherspoon, and he's still just on his schedule, not ahead of it at all, which, it's a broken bone. It's a collarbone. So it's not like a tissue issue where they can speed along a bone. Usually, the timeline for a broken bone being the broken clavicle. So they're hoping to get him back before the end of the season, but that's still a ways away. So yeah, they needed one before. And if Williams' injury is actually could hold him out, that may have been why they made this move 8 days before the deadline instead of, closer to it. But yeah, in terms of the contracts, we'll see what's good, where the Rams have done good putting themselves in a position here is you essentially have an in-season tryout, if you will, in real time between McCreary and Lake. And so when you get to this negotiation table, it's like, maybe they want both, which hopefully, we've said many times, like Quentin Lake's our guy. Like I love Quentin Lake, captain on this team, LA local. So I would want nothing more to him be back. But from a business negotiating standpoint, now they can be like, all right, well, we have this other guy that played that position really well. Also, we're pretty good at true safety spots. So we can negotiate of, who we really want, or, buying power against each other. So that's further down the line. In season, Skinny, I think this is a fantastic move and one that doesn't break the bank. They essentially get for free, doesn't hurt the cap space at all for the future. So just a really smart, strategic, surgical move that will have an instant impact on Chris Shula's defense.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean, if I'm Quentin Lake's agent at this point, you got to be asking some serious questions about this contract and when we're going to get that done. Obviously the high profile guys get contracts done in year 3. Puka Nacua is going to get his next contract after this season. Not no risk of free agency there. So that agent's got to ratchet up the pressure, going, what's going on here. Everything you said, I totally agree. And going back to sort of his versatility, I was wondering, obviously, landing a guy that can play both inside and outside is great, 100%. He's actually statistically been a better outside cornerback than he has been in the slot. And his rookie season and his sophomore season, he played a pretty healthy split between the two. But in the last 2 seasons, he's been primarily slot. And we've seen with a guy like Darius Williams, they tried to move him into the slot when he was in Jacksonville. And some guys are just better on the outside. Maybe it's a change of direction thing. So we'll probably see him right away in the Saints game, I imagine. And it'll be really interesting to see like how they split it up, or if they just move him specifically to the outside, because that was the big question mark. We weren't too worried about the slot. We were really more focused on the outside. And now even fewer options out there. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a good point, Skinny, because maybe we're seeing this from even the wrong lens, and he has the versatility, and like you said, has been playing primarily in the slot, maybe out of necessity, but the Rams could have seen this as like, this is an upgrade of who we have on the outside. Like, we don't want to move Lake. We like where Lake's at, and now we have more depth on the outside, but we have the versatility based on personnel groupings and personnel packages and what the offense is giving us, that we can play him inside if we have some of these other guys on the outside in these groupings and we can't make substitutions. So it might be one of those where it's not even like, hey, we're adding a slot guy. Like, this is actually a true just cornerback that we can move all over the place depending where need be. And like we mentioned earlier, if the Darius Williams injury is serious, then he's going to start on the outside next week. Like, if Williams misses the game next week, then we will see McCreary probably on the outside next week with Lake staying in the nickels. So really just a savvy move from a versatility standpoint for this Rams. And, McCreary, though, I will say, he's living in Nashville, coming to LA. I mean, that's a great Nashville name. You got Scotty McCreary on the country scene out there. Roger McCreary was holding it down on the football field. So he's leaving country superstardom for the Hollywood Hills. So we'll see how it lands out here in LA. Any final thoughts on this trade, Skinny?
Yeah, no, the writing was on the wall, and I'm not surprised whatsoever that they got a deal done. I mean, the big question is, what does it actually look like in terms of the injury status of Darius Williams? I think is really the last big question out there of how they're going to utilize this guy, and how badly do they need to make another move at the position to really solidify it. I mean, it was, you and I were boggled, our minds were boggled by the offseason lack of movement. No draft picks, no UDFAs, as we've said before, adding a Cal Witherspoon on a 1-year deal. I mean, as much as it's just been a head scratcher at the position since Jalen Ramsey left. I mean, so at least they're doing something.
Yeah, it's good to see being a little proactive for this position. So, with that being said, trade deadline still 8 days away. We will see if the Rams make any more moves before then. So we'll have you covered right here 24/7 on the Rams LAFB YouTube channel, or always on LAFBnetwork.com. Please hit that like and subscribe button. Helps us out a lot. And then you get notified when we do drop these videos, as we'll be updating everything throughout the trade deadline. For Skinny T, I'm Ryan Dowd, everyone. Be well. We'll talk to you all soon. Thank you so much for hanging out with us and watching the Rams LAFB show. Quickly before you go, got to tell you about our friends over at Sleeper. It's the #1 sports app right now, and you've got to download it because it's got so many great features that I want to tell you about. Aside from season-long fantasy, which is the best in the business, they've also got live score trackers, in-game updates, plus the live chat where you can actually communicate with other users right on the app. But perhaps the best feature, at least that I like, is the daily fantasy feature, or the live pick'em. Just pick 2 to 8 players across any sport: baseball, basketball, hockey, obviously football, and our Rams. You're going to choose a player, just choose more or less. Matthew Stafford, more or less passing yards. Kyren Williams, more or less rushing yards, more or less touchdowns. 2 to 8, you can win real money. So when you go to make your first deposit, make sure you use our promo code RAMSLAFB, and Sleeper's going to give you a match bonus up to $100. So you deposit $100, they're going to give you $100 free. You're now sitting at $200. You put in $10, they're going to match you $10. You're now sitting at $20. But on top of that, right now, Sleeper is offering all new user signups a $20 free entry, no deposit required. Go sign up. You're automatically invested $20 straight from Sleeper. But you can stack that offer with that match bonus offer to add more money. Just make sure to use that promo code RAMSLAFB. Go check out Sleeper. Download it today. Tell them the guys at the Rams LAFB sent you. And as always, Ramley, thank you so much for making us a part of your day.